You have a rare gift. The ability to travel into the realm between this world and the next one.
We're talking the new edition of Insidious. Out of the further, we got the demons are back. The mist is back, or those shadows, or the fog machine, whatever they be using. We got a new villain, and we got some old tropes. Smile League Films, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Here to talk about this. Got my guy Scotty. We've been excited for this, waiting for us for a while. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the movie. We're about to jump into it because I think we got two different opinions, but let's see. Roll the clip. We got Out the Further, Insidious. So coming back after the Red Door, which I think massively with audience was a disappointment, kind of the lowest, probably the lowest level of this series, but one of the longest running series of horror we've had. Somehow this and The Conjuring for new age, past the, Jason, Halloween, all that, have stuck around for almost 20 years at this point and still cranking out movies. Can they hit back with Insidious Out the Further? So I'll give you the rundown here, then we can jump into it. So we got Gemma, a young mother raising her daughter in a house that grows up and discovers she can travel into the further, the purgatory realm, as we know. When something evil comes after her, Gemma discovers that she has the ability that changes everything. She doesn't just enter the further, she can bring things back. So that's the premise here. I thought we had a pretty good opening with this movie. I think, as far as setting the mood, we get the creepy house. We get, I think they wait about a minute before you have just something run across the screen loud for no reason. But we obviously see Gemma, her daughter or her mother is struggling from something. We don't know. She comes to the house. She looks, tired, half asleep, trying, and she kind of growing up on her own, like, feeding herself and all that and going to bed. Now, as we hear some noises in the middle of the night and goes down and we get into our kind of haunted house effect here, come to find out her mother might be a bit crazy, ends up, what looks like committing suicide as the movie opens. And we kind of take place from there and we get our little further stuff. So I'm going to ask you, because I actually thought the opening was good to kind of set the mood. Was this kind of that classic scenes that we get in this opening scene?
Yeah, I mean it's it's a little bit trope. We've seen it before, but I do think it was well done enough. I mean, I thought when it just opened up that the mother was just strung out a little bit. She was tired
Yeah.
until she came upstairs. I was like, oh, that's a little bit more than strung out just by the way she's walking and talking. I enjoyed the opening sequence. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good setup. So obviously that happens. We move about 30 years into the maybe 20 years into the future, where now Gemma is a grown woman, has her daughter Maya. This is where I have a little bit of a beef here. We are still in the same house 20 years later that we were before. And, the thing about it is the opening scene, obviously, her mother seems to commit suicide early in this movie. So her still be in the same house, I'm like, all right, we couldn't, even if she wants to stay in the same town, grew up there, whatever, you can't move across town. Like, we can't just sell that house and buy another one.
Well, I mean, the economy is bad and the housing market is awful.
Okay.
So, I mean, if whoever, she probably had a guardian. I guess maybe she lived with her father or something. Maybe her father moved in there. They didn't really mention him, so maybe he passed away. Aunt, uncle, whoever was her guardian, and then they just said, "Well, house is yours." She's a dental hygienist, so she's probably making 90,000, maybe depending on where she lives. I know. I think Tiff back in Maryland. So I think she started off with like 78 or something. This is a couple years ago. So I'm giving her 90. Maybe she just didn't want to have to scrape and struggle, man. She has a kid too, and clearly the father is not in the picture because he don't even mention him throughout this movie. So yeah. I'm taking the free house.
Okay, yeah, a little bit of beef with that, but anyway, she's like you said, she's dental hygienist. She's making probably pretty good money, doing that. So doing that, but she's kind of living, and they kind of go forward, and she's living kind of the parallel kind of life to what her and her mother, as she was growing up. Her daughter's around the same age she was, and certain things like that. So a couple things with this movie. You talk about Insidious now. The cool thing and how they want to move this story further is like we've been in the further, around the
I see
further,
what you just
by the
did.
further. Now we're coming
Yeah.
out the further in this movie, and the reason is that Gemma realizes she has this ability to go into the further and bring things back out, which they talk about in the description, which I think is cool. I think that's a way to progress the story forward, bringing something new, because we are 6 movies, and I think this is the 6th one, maybe the 7th one. I don't even know how many they got at this point. But yeah, I think it's a way to move the story forward, which is fun. So I do like that. But something that Insidious had before, and a little bit of my beef here early, is like what was fun with the family, and what was his name? Patrick, I'm not forgetting his last name.
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. The thing about him and his family, you had Elise, you had the couple of guys who were like the camera crew and all that, is we had a lot of personality in these first few movies. And it was fun, just like as generic as Insidious is, because I think this is about as generic of a series you can get, and they just rinse and repeat it. It was always fun to hang out with them, and whether we would go back in time or do alternate stories, like, hey, especially that camera crew, hanging out with those 2 guys who had a brief cameo in the Red Door, which is like, dang, I wish y'all would stick around, was fun, and it was cool to hang out with them. I think the biggest problem in this movie is the characters we have. So Gemma, her daughter Maya, she has this boyfriend named Nick, who's also a police officer. Elise comes back in, who Elise is Elise, but a couple other characters they are as generic and flat, I would say, as horror movie characters really can get. And I don't know if it's all the way their fault. This director, Jason Chase, has done nothing. I looked at his IMDb, nothing I've seen before, nothing I can rave him about. So it could have been direction. But I think these characters are pretty damn flat.
I think the police officer, well, I do think he had a little bit of personality. I'd say maybe he was the flattest, but Maisie Sellers was one of my favorites for a while. The girl that black chick that is like talking to Elise.
Oh, yeah, Claire.
I like her. She's been in one of my favorite shows ever, the originals, and she did a hell of a job. I think she did fine, especially when she was Elise was talking through her, how she changed her voice a little bit. I thought that was cool. I didn't have a problem with most of the side characters. I didn't.
I mean, I guess there's not too many side characters. It's just like between her and her daughter. The cop is cool. He's fine. As far as now that character, I got some beef with, but the acting is fine. But yeah, I just feel like they're generic. And as we see, we get into the story, and obviously we understand, like, we know the premise. She can bring things back. So there's a villain here who we don't really see, but something they also introduce here is they have people who are in the living world that are working with this villain who is in the further, which is also something new that they haven't done before. Now, this is maybe the goofiest part of this movie, because like we got this town, and everybody's friendly, everybody's nice. We get this town in all these horror movies. We got this like 3 adults, these older adults walking around who stick out like a sore thumb. They're weird. They're creepy. Everyone can see them. They know they don't live there, but no one seems to acknowledge this. And when people around them go missing, no one seems to want to do, like, maybe we should check on these people that live by us. Maybe we should, as much in this real world that we live in, where people are willing to call the cops on people for no reason, just because they're around someplace they shouldn't be. No one's calling the cops on these fools who look creepy as hell. I'm not buying it.
I'm going to buy it.
For what reason?
Because they all look like they were 80 years old with no strength. They could barely walk. So I wouldn't call the police on them. That would be my first guess. If I saw them, I'd probably, my personality, I'm probably laughing. Like, where y'all going? And when they don't say anything back, like they did all movie, I'm like, oh, okay. Those are the 3 I need to stay away from, because they can't hear, can't walk, can't talk. Okay, I got you. That's as far as I would take it. I
would buy that if they were like aloof, but these people are looking at them. They're almost stalking them. They're smiling like.
But remember, the old couple didn't start looking at the old lady, not the old lady, at Gemma until after the guy came to the dentist. Before that,
no, they did. The first time they seen him in the neighborhood, she turns back and they're over there smiling, looking at her, and she's like,
"Remember, the
daughter
turned back. Gemma didn't turn back.
I thought Gemma did too. But even the daughter would be like, "Mom, what's up with them?" Like, it's not something you just don't say. If me and you are out and that there's no way I'm gonna see something crazy and not point them to you like, you don't see this shit? Like, you like, this is not, it's another thing where people just don't communicate. But for all that, we got that going on. I think they do, and this is the thing here. I think they do one of the more creative things in here, and I'll talk about it in a minute with the fort, because I thought that was really cool. But they also pull. It's just like what this series does, and this is not a high budget. This is only $18 million budget, and I think what Insidious did at the very beginning was be like a little bit more outside the box with what they were doing as far as bringing the horror elements. We know it's not that expensive, but I thought they had like really good setups. When we get into this movie, we got the toy that talks back that you know is gonna be used by some demonic entity. Like, the kind of setups here, once we get past that opening, I feel like don't really pay off that well. But that, I think that fort scene where she you see in the commercial, she goes into the fort. I do think that is one of the more creative horror sequences where, you know, everybody who's all the show is like, why don't she just stand up? Well, she can't. She does try that in the movie, so they do rule that out. But I do think, like, if we would get more stuff in the opening and more stuff like that, I'd be rocking with it, because I think the way this director in spurts can take space and use it and kind of narrow in and make inescapable like atmospheres is like pretty cool when he does that. Probably, I don't think they do that enough.
You know, again, this year I've been doing a lot of like listening, so I thought the sound was good. I thought it was really good. Just the way I could always, especially in my theater, I hope it's like that in every theater where I can hear stuff like it's really far away coming closer. I enjoyed that. The way he shot it, sometimes I did think they're a little bit spotty. Like when someone is looking up, I thought that looked a little. It didn't transition as smooth as I thought it would be. But overall, I thought his directing was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I probably have a bigger beef with just, I guess, not in scenes, but the overall direction of the movie. But I think some scenes are directed pretty well. They look, at least look, for $18 million. I think they look good. That's not a problem with this movie. Where it's just like in the first one, you could tell how cheap, you know, that was, and where they would just roll some smoke and whatever. I think they do up the level here. Obviously, technology as well will do that. But I think that scene definitely does stand out as one of the better ones I've seen this year as far as a horror sequence for a nice setup. I thought that was good. As this story kind of moves forward, so what we have is we have this villain named Lester, and he's kind of the organizer of, you know, I'm trying to bring these entities, and they do a good job of bringing, like, you know, villains back that we've seen before, trying to bring them into the real world. So when I get into the real world, you know, it's a wrap, and he has these people, like I said, on the outside working for him, which is cool. So once stuff starts to go down, I think one of the cool sequences is Gemma is starting to like relive what was going on with her mom. That I think they do well as far as kind of replaying that storyline in an expanded version with her and her daughter, and she starts to see things and realizes that, not just, you know, does it, but realizes that and like, oh snap, like I need to go get some help. So the character you brought up before, Claire, who she one time when she's in the further, Elise comes in and is like, hey, you need to find me, go here, and I can help you out. So Claire is someone who they don't explain. Let's say they don't explain a lot of what's going on with Claire. She's kind of a tattoo artist, just hanging out. But for some reason, they don't tell you why, Elise is able to talk through her and is able to communicate and able to help out our characters who are in the living world, which is cool. And then we kind of get like, you were able to have these powers. Is there, and that kind of starts our forward of how you, like, you know, the more, I guess, the more fear you show and the more stuff you do, they are able to draw closer to you, and eventually they'll get to you. So I thought it was cool having her be able to work with Elise, who has been dead since the first movie, in this kind of further world. I thought that was interesting. I don't know why Claire is his vessel. They don't really explain that, but I did think that element was cool.
Yeah, I didn't really need an explanation. She's just a medium. That's it. That's all. That's probably all they were going to say anyway. And Elise has said since the second movie that she just been walking around the further, helping people that need help. Like that's just what she does now.
Yeah, which is a nice familiar face to see.
But
But
always like Elise, because you always need a Laurie Strode. She's like Laurie Strode in the afterlife.
Yeah, and somebody who's always getting around because she can't die. She's already dead. So
Yeah.
I do think that is cool. Now, some of these, and this is where beef. Some of these like scenarios they put these characters because we know where it's going. She's gonna have to go into that world and figure it out and do our villain. Is Insidious. We know it's coming. But some of these set pieces even getting to that as they want to introduce like who this villain is and how this stuff goes on. Man, I thought it was downright ridiculous. Like they have this scene where, like Scotty said, she's a dental hygienist. She's working. She sees the man from her neighborhood who never says it. How he even got an appointment? Who knows? Because he don't talk. So how was even set that up? But people, we've all been in a dental office. Okay, we've all done it. All had to get our teeth cleaned. Dental offices are not section places. It is one open flow. There's really not any doors in any dental office I've really ever seen ever since when you walk in because you got people helping each other out. You got people do x-rays. You got actual dentists. You got actual dental hygienists. You got people who are assistants. Like every dental office I've been is an open flow space. Except when you're taking x-rays, you close the door so you don't get hit with the x-ray. But outside of that, there's stuff. Oh, go ahead, Scott.
Mine are all sectioned off.
Like closed door office style?
Yeah. Every office it has a closed door office style over here.
I've not seen that, but the situation is where this guy comes in where his teeth are damn near falling out his mouth. She's a dental hygienist. When she goes into his mouth and starts to see stuff, this is what stuff you call the dentist in for. Like, this is not something you be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna handle this. It's like, no, you get some help. And not only that, like you can say these are sectioned off. You can hear, we all work in offices. You can hear what's going on 10 feet away from you. When you got this girl flying around, hitting her head, falling out, all this stuff. No one hears this. And it's packed too. This is not like an empty dental office. This place is packed to the point where they're like, hey, we got to move today. We got 100 patients. And it's like, nope, no one sees anything.
I don't think that's that bad. I think it's a nitpick.
Oh, it's so tropey, man. It's just like
she didn't make a lot of noise. All she did was fall back.
She hit her head on the thing and fell out.
Yeah, but that's not a lot of noise. If I heard that at like my office, I'll just say, "Oh, someone dropped something." That's as far as I wouldn't take it. I think that's a nitpick right there.
That is not a nitpick, especially in an office where people are walking in. You're checking in on people, especially you're like, okay.
No, the door was closed.
Yeah, if she's taking 2 hours with a patient, no one goes in there to see what's happening.
She was only in there for minutes.
You don't know how long she passed out for.
We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So 2 hours is a fair estimate.
What if it was just minutes? What if it was a regular appointment length?
No, she passed out for a while because we were in the further for a good minute. So there's stuff happening that also too, her boyfriend, the cop, who we get to see earlier, and I do like that character. I think he's got some talent. Definitely would like to see him and more and be able to use his personality more. Might be the worst cop in the history of police enforcement because this fool. Now we do this where things are sort of going on with her, and he comes over. He's a good boyfriend. He's checking her out, make sure she's good because he knows about her past. Does come over and sees that the stuff that she's going through is real. This fool will not call for backup or use any kind of police procedures to save his life. He act like he's the only man on the force to the point where he's seen dead people and doesn't call it in.
I wouldn't. Hey,
murder.
Man, we got some dead.
No. Don't do that because me and you watch plenty of movies where you see a cop go to investigate something and you like call for backup. Now we not calling for backup no more
because those are with real people. These are dead. These are dead. This is Resident Evil,
bro. This man is seeing crimes committed and will not report a thing. Arrested, nothing.
You can't arrest Resident Evil. He would have to arrest the whole Resident Evil gang. That's 100.
No, these people are human. The three villains that we have on the living world, they're human.
Oh, they not with that mouth.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay.
Soon he opened his mouth. I said, "Oh yeah, that's a zombie." Who am I going to call?
He is terrible as far as
I do think one of the scenes when he's trying to get them out of the house, I did not like that scene. When he pretends to call backup to get them out of the house, I was like, that would have been a time you could have called real backup, and then your backup could have distracted them while both of y'all went in the unsafe house where the dead people were. But instead, he lets her go in there, hit her head again, and then get knocked out. I'm like, there was not a lot of strategy that went into that one.
No, especially when you know she's already been in the place. You know it's unsafe.
Yeah.
Like you have the scouting report because they have this big plan where they have to go ahead and like what basically you got the villain here, and we all know the red door. You got to lock the villain behind the red door. So that's kind of the plan that they come up with to do that for sequences. But it is so ridiculous the way like his involvement in trying to exercise his plan. Don't call for no backup, like you said. Fakes call for backup, and then when all hell breaks loose, like damn, I sure wish I had some backup.
Yeah.
That would be nice. So it's just there's like these characters are so hard to root for, and that's the thing. What is the case about? Get your scares, get your horror, you get fun characters. I feel like even with our villain, like he's flat. He's very like copy paste. I don't know. Did you like the villain?
I like what the villain was trying to do. The villain himself, Charles Manson type dude.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for. I see they showed a couple cameos of other demons that have been in other movies. Like we saw, I don't know if it's the red face demon, but it's a red face demon. We got the yellow dude. We got purple lady, which I don't remember.
The lady with the scar, she was a villain in the first one. She was the one chasing Patrick Wilson.
The purple lady?
I don't know if it's not the purple lady, not the crazy one with the smile, but the one with the wedding net in black or the funeral net.
And my favorite cameo, the lady with the gun that has no problem blowing anybody with a smile. I laugh. I like seeing her. But yeah, that villain, I didn't like him at all. I just like what he was trying to do and that he was successful.
Yeah.
He was.
Which was cool. Like I like his plan of doing this, and I wish they pulled a smile and kind of let things kind of play out with that, because I think that was kind of the new thing here. You're going to get into the further. It's going to be a fog. It's going to be a spook house, basically. You already know you're going to get in there. It's fog. There's different stuff in her mind that shows up, stuff like that. But I think having these entities into the real world and kind of play around with that, something the cop can be chasing people down, them going to houses, going after people. I think that could have been cool and getting us out of this house without doing the same old spook house thing. So that was a great idea. They just don't go any further with it. It's like, well, we only got $18 million, y'all. Like,
you said it again.
Yeah, they can't go any further. It's like, we got $18 million, y'all. That's not enough to do stuff in the real world, which would be cool. So we're kind of, again, it's like, it's a bottle film when it really doesn't have to be and would benefit from not being a bottle film even more. Like, we get to these secluded rooms and it's like, brother, we've done this for 6 movies and this director hasn't done much. I get it, but trying to expand the story is the only way you can go here. And that's my biggest thing with here. I think these characters are generic. You're bringing in new characters, which is cool. It's cool hanging out and seeing new people, but they're so generic and they don't expand the story that it's like, it's hard for me to say, like, if you're a fan of Insidious, it's hard for me to say, like, this is even better than The Red Door. Like, it feels like the same. Like, I feel like we did more in The Red Door than we did here with the college and going around here. We introduced new characters, people buying in. At least like it felt like that had more energy than this movie.
Wilding, 1,000% wilding.
I feel like that movie had more energy. It is bad. I know it's bad.
No, I no. Red Door for me gave me absolutely nothing because it was like when number 1 came out, I thought the concept was cool. Yes, it was cheap. You could tell it was cheap. It came out in 2010.
Yeah.
There's no reason for the Red Door to just be half of the first movie. That's all it was hey, age the characters up, give us that movie again, but just give us half of it. Give us the last half. I was like, that they gave me nothing. I give the movie like a 1 out of 10 because I just liked the acting in it, but I didn't like anything about it. This one, I guess I feel differently about the character because I like Gemma. I like her daughter. I like Claire. I've always liked Maisie Sellers and almost everything though. So who knows? I might be biased, but the cop was kind of a generic cop, but I do like that when it was time to go. Besides calling for backup, because now I think about that, it's a little silly. But when it came to action, he didn't trip and fall. He went over there and was beating up old people underneath the floorboards. I was like, oh, he's ready. He's about that action.
He's not about that action because he gets his ass whooped the whole movie.
But he tried.
Okay.
He tried,
unsuccessfully.
He unplugged 2 of the 3 people. Then he tased the last dude that was down there. Then when the big guy, Cyrus, comes out
Well,
there,
not spoiling the movie, but he's just
oh,
trying to
spoiler.
like these people are able to no, but these people are able to travel into the further, and he's able to like they got to go in the state, so he's able to like get them out of the further because they are able to terrorize old girl in
Oh,
both sides.
I won't give any
Yeah,
more away. But
yeah.
when it comes to fighting, I'll say fighting these Resident Evil people, when the biggest dude and the baddest dude is around, he takes out the Glock.
He doesn't absolutely doesn't.
But does he take it out and fire? All right, it was fire immediately. Fire. That's all I heard.
Yeah,
Perfect form too. The dude's been training. He perfect form. Could he have done better with a couple more people? Probably still not because going against. I mean, he went against Magneto, man. What do you want him to do?
Call for backup. That would be nice.
So Magneto could kill the whole force.
Yeah, that would be, and especially when you see a murder goes down.
But it wouldn't have worked though. If you think about it, yeah, he should have called, but it wouldn't have even.
It would have been better than anything. You can't say it wouldn't have worked because they ain't try it. So
no, but I mean, it wouldn't. If you the way that they had to defeat what was going on in the movie, it wouldn't have made a difference because he could only be defeated one way.
No, he needed to call for backup well earlier on than when things went to hell.
But what would have happened?
He would have got help, getting these people out of there, arresting them, and finding dead bodies.
And then the guy would have just found more people that didn't.
No, because the problem is he took so long he took so long and did it so badly that led to the problem getting worse, and then that's when the villain could really stretch his legs. It was his fault because hey, did you execute your part of the plan? No. Well, now we got to deviate to another plan because you suck.
Yeah, I like that part too because he said you had one job.
Yeah, Elise is like, I'm dead. Do I got to do everything? I got to go to the living world now.
Towards the end, I think they gave the villain more personality because when he said, "Man, you had one job, bow, goodbye," I said, "That's what you need. You need villains that don't care about the subordinates." I enjoyed the cameos. There was a scene. I'm trying to think if this was even worth mentioning. I can't. It's a spoiler. But the cop in general had a couple scenes where I was like, okay, I like this dude. Like when the lady started to realize that she could do stuff in the further. And the one request that the trope didn't happen in this movie. The trope of like when the girl says, "Don't let me go to sleep," or "Don't let me sleepwalk," or whatever. And he says, "Yeah, I'll be up. I'll wake you up when the time comes." He stays up. And this is like a positive nitpick. The man stays up. In every other horror movie we see, in Freddy Krueger horror movies, when the guy says "I got your back" or something, he automatically immediately goes somewhere else as soon as a girl falls asleep, or he falls asleep himself. This dude was awake, had his phone in it, and was looking over there to make sure she wasn't screaming anything. I appreciate that little tiny touch because if I saw him go to sleep, I would have been so mad. Yeah, I just finished watching Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one that came out in '84, and Johnny Depp not Johnny Depp. Was that Johnny Depp, the dude that played her boyfriend for half the movie?
He's in the. I forget who he plays. I
think that was Johnny Depp that played her boyfriend. He's so young, but anyway, that boy fell asleep twice. Fell asleep at her house. Fell asleep at his house on the phone. I said, "Damn." That was the start of the tropes. We can blame Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I do like that, and I do think his personality shines because there's some funny moments in there. I think overall, my beef with this movie is you have a cool idea, you don't really execute it. You like the characters better than I do. I think there's some moments in there with them, and I do like how they replay those two stories. There's some stuff that, and it'd be spoiled, but some stuff that happens with her mom later, because she's able to travel to different worlds, which I'm like, okay, that's a nice, come into their moment. I think just overall, this movie has good ideas. It just doesn't have good execution. And if you want a rating from Rotten Tomatoes, 58% critic score, 71% audience score. So audiences think it's all right. I'm more like, I need some better personalities. Like again, the two cameramen who was in all the movies before, so much levels above them. I even think Patrick Wilson
and his
they just did the cameo in the Red Door, and they're just probably moving on the franchise. So I don't know. I don't think they'll be back. They did a nice cameo in the Red Door, but
I would have rather see what I thought which made me happy. I thought Elise would have been talking through them, and they would have showed up in that tattoo shop and said, "Okay, we ready. We're gonna get going." Yeah. I think that would have gave it a couple more points. Positive.
Or if you want to push the series forward, we got streamers now. Like You could have people like, even as bad as that movie is, I know what you did last summer. At least move forward and had a podcaster come in and like, okay, these are murders that I'm talking about this. Just something like they have the idea, but they don't have the execution to bring it forward. They don't have the surrounding ideas to support it, in my opinion. Do I think this movie's outright terrible? No. I just think it's silly and stupid at some parts, and there's just not enough for me to entertain it. So I'll go ahead and give my rating for. I think it's a minor league. I don't think it's good. I'm probably a lot more so the critic side. Again, I don't think performances are terrible. They just there's no pop to it, and there's something where if I'm leaving and I think when I walk out this movie, there's no like scene, I guess maybe other than I mean I don't know if it's that good, but other than the fort scene, there's just nothing I'm walking out with to say like, hey, you should go see this for that. It's just like, how is Insidious? It's a movie, like. But that's how I feel about it. So I'll pass over to you. Give your closing thoughts and what your rating is.
Yeah, I think if you're an Insidious fan, you should see it. I give it a high price admission. I enjoyed the movie. I really sat through it and enjoyed it from start to finish. The main girl, Gemma, could be an Avengers level threat. Honestly, if you see the end of this movie, she should be on a team. There was I think there's going to be a show coming out still. I think like 2023, 2024, they were trying to make a spinoff called The Thread. Going to be something else that someone else can do besides the go into the further. So this girl had different power. Elise is going to be in it. It's supposed to be, I think Mandy Moore was supposed to be the star of the movie. And that's probably still coming out. Last I heard about was in development. I'm cool. I'm all for this series if it moves forward. I just gave it a lot of points off because the villain himself was kind of generic.
You didn't give it that many with a high price of admission.
High price may have been sized a little bit. Well, I'll give it a price of admission.
Okay.
I get it. I may have been going crazy.
So you think matinee or you're cool paying full price?
I'm cool playing full price. Okay. I am, because I enjoy it. As far as the series goes, a recent rewatch, I thought 1 and 2. I thought 1 was great, and I thought 2 was decent. 3 was a whole spinoff by itself. Decent. I don't think it's had any bad movies besides The Red Door. The Red Door, I was really bored because nothing was happening. Like nothing the entire movie happened at all. And I thought they try to make it funner in the college dorms or the frat scene. I said, this is not fun. This looks, y'all are the frat from death. Why is every frat in every horror movie the frat that is involved in everything heinous? And every member has to be a jerk. I didn't like any. The acting was good though. Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, the dude that was in the other Insidious movies who played I can't remember who he was in Iron Man 3, but he played the little boy in Iron Man 3 as well. Good actor. Hope he gets more roles. I hope they put him in the next Insidious with someone else, maybe even Gemma's daughter or whoever else. I'm cool. I'd like to see the series move forward. I think a series, which was they were trying to do with this Thread spinoff, and now they said they're turning it into a movie. I think you're on something earlier where you said, you didn't take anything away from it. I think some of these horror movies should be series, even if it's a short series, 4 to 6 episode, like the Camp Crystal Lake coming out soon. Series would be cool. We get to build, you're going to show us something new. You're not going to give us a series of, oh, he's dead, and that's it. There's going to be new stuff in there. So I think it just they need to go forward with the series. But I liked it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this would work better as a series because I think you can do more cool stuff. And not to be long winded here, but I think like what you were able to set up with the camera crew, where we did that last time, and was able to bring Elise back and just be able to explore people. Because I think the power here is cool. I'm not only able to go there, I'm able to come back and do it, and she'll get better with that and learn it as time. If you want to keep that character around, or her daughter who will be able to have the same ability because it's genetic in the movie, it was able to pass down from mom, daughter, and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think that could be cool. Going around, seeing people with different powers, seeing what they can do, and explore it in maybe a 4-episode miniseries. I think you need a director who can push it a little bit forward. I think he's got the ideas here. He just doesn't have the execution. But the idea is cool. Like, I would definitely watch another one of these. This one is just like, It's not as bad as the Red Door, I will say that, but it just falls on that low bar of like that spinoff they had. I think it was the third one where they go back in time and you have Elise who's actually alive and the family just feels a little more generic. So I'm with that, but yeah, I think it's minor league. I think if lowest price admission, I think if you caught this on like a $5 Tuesday or a matinee price, I wouldn't say you'd walk out hating yourself. You just probably like it's more something I say it's more for TV. But that's all I got there. Scotty, got anything else on it?
No, I was just looking at some of the directors here, and I think you can tell when it fell off. Because James Wan did
Yeah.
1 and 2. Him coming back would be cool.
Yeah.
The rest of these people, I just think were okay. But I think him coming back, or Zach Kreger. Zach Kreger has surprised me a few times. Give me one of those guys, and I think the scares would be better too. Even the scares this movie, what I thought were okay, I think we can up the ante. It's time to give this series an overhaul and something.
You know, it'd be a match. And the last thing I'll say, like, if you were able to bring the guy over from like the back rooms, like somebody who was able to play in different spaces, like set up creepy atmospheres, but do things that are different. Everything's not always the same. And I think like somebody like, you don't have to necessarily go get that dude, but somebody like that with just a mind of like, wow, there's so many things we could do here. And we're still kind of doing these same, tropes. Like, let's think outside the box that they could really push the series forward. Because I think like as a property, somebody would love to be like, yo, give me somebody for the cities. I'll bet. I got you right now. New director, new ideas, put in the series, make it work with good characters. And there's so many great, talented young actors out here. And even some of the people in this movie that you can work with. So, yep, that's all I got there. But again, I'm probably minor league. You are price of admission. So definitely we should make between there. And I gave you the Rotten Tomato scores. Scotty. Talked about Insidious. We got Green Lantern series coming out. New episodes out tomorrow. I will drop a couple videos in between time for that because we have a couple recorded. But let people know where they can find you on the regular.
You can find me at Corona or Corona Comics on TikTok, or We Just Saw 3 different words on YouTube. And Darren will be there as well talking Lanterns. Man, Lanterns is the only DCU project that I am surprised about. It blew me away. Wasn't surprised. Wasn't expecting that. So I'm hooked. So I'll be doing like at least 3 videos of that a week. I'm sure you will be too, or I should say we.
All right, maybe more. Lancer's really popping right now. It's all over social media. So that's all I see. So definitely we'll be talking about that a bunch. So do that. Go over there. Check that channel out. I'm going to leave questions down for you below. So let me know what you thought of this movie. Hit that like button. Hit that sub button. The channel's starting to traject a little bit more. So it's getting pushed out. So definitely. So more Lanterns. More new releases coming out. We got plenty of stuff. I also might want to check out Camp. What's that movie? Camp Masada. Something with an M. But it's really trending out there. And I haven't seen it yet. It's like an old school horror movie. And I keep seeing the trailer for it. So
I haven't heard of it.
Look out for that. We'll talk about it after. But do all that good stuff. Comment down below. We will catch you next time.